Hi everyone, and a warm welcome to this session, Hallucinations, Impersonations and Misuse. My name is Monica Karlberg. I am the Cybersecurity Culture and Awareness Manager here at Sandvik. And I would like to introduce to you our marvelous William Smedberg.
Thank you, Monica. And so happy to be here. I'm going to talk a bit about AI today. It's meant to be an inspiration session where you can discover what AI is capable of today. I'll also be impersonating Monica a bit, to which she has given me her consent, luckily. But yeah, Monica is going to come back in the end, and we're going to have an interview and ask each other some questions as well. But for now, please enjoy the presentation. So safety first, as we all know, this is supposed to be a safe environment. You can interact with us and ask questions in the live event in the Disco portal. I hope that you're in a safe location and that you know what to do in case of an emergency. And I'm your presenter today. My name is William. I work for Sandvik Group. I have the absolute pleasure of working full-time with AI and automation, but I've had several roles within Sandvik, and I've been working with Sandvik since 2017. And of course, this webinar is going to be full of pictures, illustrations, some audio and video as well. Everything that you see is going to be generated. So you don't have to think about whether this image is generated or not. You can just be certain that what you're about to see is fully generated. So to set the scene a bit, I always like to go back to basics to explain that AI is a system that has human-like cognitive ability. And why we're talking about AI so much nowadays is that we've had huge technology advancements in the field of AI. I usually say that we have big changes every 3 months and that we have paradigm shifts every year. And that correlates pretty well with this presentation, actually, because you see the robots to the right on your screen. Well, just since I made this presentation, those robots were the initial thought that I had about how you should visualize robots and AI. But nowadays, it's easy to instead show my own avatar and what has happened in about 3 months. AI systems are going from being something that you can absolutely tell that it's being AI generated, where it's going from being like a fun animated avatar to, I don't have long blonde hair, but you get the idea. It's very hard to tell if that is an AI generated image or not. There are certain giveaways, but we're getting to the point where we consider quality human. And what is happening in the AI world right now is that this is starting to occur in more formats. We are used by now to ChatGPT and text bots and things that are able to generate semantics and the text to us. But we're not really used to yet images being lifelike, video being lifelike, and audio and speech being lifelike. So we need to think about the usages of this. How do we use this for value? How do we improve ourselves so that we can make sure that we are able to use this technology for good? How can we protect ourselves from the potential misuse of this technology? And what are some examples of what is possible today and in the future? So I'd like to start off by showing you a timeline of this progression. I have been in Sandvik and out of Sandvik in the middle, actually. So I came back to Sandvik at the beginning of December 22, just when ChatGPT was launched. ChatGPT remade the entire AI industry because it was the first time when ordinary people like you and me could interact with AI in a way that felt human. you could actually have a conversation with a computer, and it didn't feel like a computer was talking back to you. It solved a hugely important question. It's not cognitive, it's not able to reason, but it solved the question of semantics and language. It's capable of answering a question in a way that we feel is human-like. Huge breakthrough, but today that is old news. The same was with Whisper that came shortly after. Whisper is a model that is capable of processing audio, capable of processing dialects and speech in a much better way than had ever been possible before. Old news today as well. Then we waited 3 months or 4 months and we got GPT-4. GPT-4 is also a model from OpenAI that made ChatGPT, and that is powering all of the co-pilots in the world today, basically. So a huge technological advancement, but something that is inside of our systems right now. But that was text. We had to wait a full 6-7 months until Midjourney came. Midjourney enabled the vast majority of people to create images, and not only, static, animate-like images that we saw in the beginning, but actual real or realistic images. And then in September, DALL-E 3 came, which enabled this for commercial use and enterprise use, since Midjourney claims all intellectual property rights. So it's really quick from when something starts to appear until it's made commercially available. In December 2023, 365 Copilot from Microsoft is starting to come out. Of course, a really big change as well. And we can see that what has happened in the past, we have semantics and language, we have sounds and voice, we have speech and audio, text and image, and we're verging on video generation as well. And what is next on the radar is just piecing all of these things together, which is coming now with Gemini 1.5 from Google, which is a very capable multimodal system. And I'll show you what that means as well. But that is not the big thing happening in AI right now. The big thing is within video generation. And models that are becoming so good so that if you watch the man eating a hamburger in the bottom right, whoops, he is actually not just a picture, but he is a full video. And it's such an advanced video that when he takes a bite of the burger, the bite disappears. But this is not a simulation where you've imported the characteristics of a hamburger. It's just a very, very capable video generation tool. And what that will bring for the future, I'll show you as well. But that's more the background. What about what this session is about? This session is about fraud, hallucinations, and misuse. So we have Monica here today who has accepted that I should impersonate her in some way. And I had done this before. I'd played around with models that are capable of doing this. And 6 months ago, we were able to generate avatars of Monica, but I've taken an older model. I didn't spend time 6 months ago generating Monica, but you get the idea. 6 months ago, this was about the best result that we could do. Ava said in the beginning that I would be taking over someone's computer. That is not true. I would just be impersonating Monica. So I'll show you an example of what is possible today and what you can do with a little bit of imagination and models that have appeared from the last 6 months. So in a very short amount of time, we are now able to generate versions of Monica that actually look lifelike, where we can put Monica in different places, doing different things. She could be either standing in a fire, she could be holding a rifle on her safari hunt, she could be standing in a coal mine, exploring how the world needs more coal. So I can take Monica and I can place her in situations where she would not be naturally. that has no benefit to her, but that I can use for malicious intent. And we get to the point where these things are so human that we don't really care if they're human or not. We simply see them as fun novelties, and we accept the quality at some point. So there comes a breaking point where we consider this human enough, as we did with ChatGPT. It's not quite there yet, at least not what I run locally on my laptop with just a few hours of experimentation. But you can see where it's going. So AI and fraud. It's an extremely rapidly evolving state of the art. Apart from just taking an image of Monica, and this is generated from one image, all the different poses, all of the different environments is from her LinkedIn picture. I can also take Monica's last posting history on LinkedIn and impersonate her, both in posting and how she would respond to messages. And when making bots like this, I've also weaved malicious intent into Monica. She doesn't like me. She thinks that Sandvik is going in completely the wrong direction. So I'm able to blend, of course, image and text at the same time, if we would so like. And it's when all of these different formats come together that we reach these tipping points of, is this Monica or not? And do we really care? So hopefully you'll hear an audio, and please message me if you don't hear an audio, Monica.
When you have all of your ingredients together, you are going to put the chopped broccoli and chopped banana peppers inside the bowl. And now this is very adverse. You can use anything that you would like. If you want to use cucumbers, you can chop up cucumbers and put this in here.
So what we heard was a reference audio from a woman just making a recipe for her school program. And nowadays it takes about 15 seconds for a commercial model to clone her voice and make it basically say anything.
Hi everyone, this is what my voice sounds like using OpenAI's new text-to-speech model called Voice Engine. I was able to use just 15 seconds of a video that I made for a class project to be the reference audio source for the voice you hear right now. What do you think?
So in the future, we'll not only have fun generated images, we'll have constantly generating text that is trained on what a person has said in the past. Images that are generated from various locations and probably fitting with the text as well. And speech and audio that sounds like the person. I mean, you wouldn't accept it as reference quality, but if you were on a phone call with someone, it might fool you. So how on earth is this possible? Well, for one, the AI models have become a lot better. What you see on the right is, of course, a generated video. And it has become so much better because of the models themselves and the training of the models and the content being used to generate that content. But it also requires a large amount of compute power to generate videos like this. And that means that some companies in the world are becoming extremely large, like, of course, NVIDIA. That is a very recent example. NVIDIA has a gigantic value of a couple of $1 trillion, but it has the staff of half of Sandvik. And this whole AI revolution is powering certain companies like that provide compute power, because they are fueling what we can see as scenarios of tomorrow. So another example is something that was recently released by Google. So Gemini 1.5 Pro that I told you about earlier. So here we see a video of Buster Keaton, a 44-minute video of Buster Keaton being loaded into a model. And then we are able to ask questions directly to that model. So the question that is being asked here is, when was a piece of paper pulled from someone's pocket, and what was the information on that piece of paper? So the model is, of course, then able to accurately say that It was at a specific timestamp and what information was on the piece of paper. But that is not all, because reality comes when we blend what is generated and what is real. All of these animals are generated, but we can see a chameleon and a bird coming together in a seamless fashion to make a chameleon that is transitioning into becoming a bird. Meaning that there is huge potential for future video formats where we take content that we have generated at Sandvik and we turn them into things that might be at our customers, but there is a huge potential in fraud as well for this, of course. And for the future, what will be possible future scenarios is that more and more content will be AI generated. It will be influenceable by people. We can steer this AI content into whatever direction that we would like. And we will become more used to talking to super people, to celebrities, to people that exist today or have existed, our old relatives. So our interactions and our expectations of each other will change. You don't want this presentation from me. You will want it from a celebrity of your choice. And that will put a different sort of emphasis on what we consider to be a good face-to-face meeting, a good video meeting, our expectations on services. We won't want to receive content in text. We don't want to have to sit in line to wait for assistance over the phone. We would want it immediately, and we would probably want it in multiple formats as well. So finally, before we step over to a few interview questions, what should we do then? Well, we shouldn't do everything at once. We should approach this with a sense of continuity. Keep using AI to understand the benefits and the threats. Just don't stop learning about it. 2, we should of course be very careful with our information, personally and professionally, both what we send and what we receive. And 3rd, we should start questioning the current state. We as a company, the people in the company, are the power and the threat. There will not be an AI revolution where we as Sandvik provide one big AI system. It will be thousands of small things. And we need to understand this technology and how to turn it into something useful. So with that, I would like to ask you, Monica, how did you feel about being impersonated? As a cybersecurity expert and a culture awareness manager, what did you feel?
Well, it is a bit uncomfortable to see yourself be impersonated like that. It's my first time, but it's probably not the last. So yeah, that's that from a personal perspective. But from a professional point of view, as a psychologist in tech, I mean, I can see that you can make very good impersonations. And the sound, image, the text, and you can fool people. You can do it faster. You could do it easier if you're a cyber criminal. And as humans, we have traits. We comply with people in authority, like our managers. We form emotional connections with people. We care for the other people, and we try to help them if they ask for it. We trust people, and we respond fast if something is urgent. And these are great traits for the human race and for us to survive and evolve. And what makes me a bit angry is that the criminals exploit this, the goodness in people, using our way of thinking, our feelings, to get money, information, and access. And I can see that, with AI, it's going to be a lot easier for them. And as I am a trusting human being, the next time my boss comes on screen and asks for help with something, my first thought is to help him, not to doubt whether it is really him. But we will need to develop ways to make sure that we talk to the right person. And we will develop that because people are smart, and we find our ways to solve our problems. So I'm actually quite curious about what you think about this, William, as we move forward. So actually, how fast is it going? How fast do we need to get smarter? What's next?
Yeah, you saw a couple of examples that building AI systems means constantly rebuilding things. We have to scrap things that we made a few months ago because something is new on the market and it's outperforming everything that we do. We make things that just make more sense to buy now, but it's moving extremely fast towards being used in professional settings. So both inside of the systems that we currently own and for new systems as well. And what is rapidly increasing is what I showed about content being in many different formats.
So how much material do you actually need?
Yes, so one traditional trait of machine learning was that you would need thousands of images to create something. You would need years and years of historical data to make something ahead. Nowadays, we're seeing a big shift in this, and that is also fueling the commerciability of AI products. As I mentioned, to clone a voice nowadays, you need something between 6 and 15 seconds of spoken audio. We can make, I could impersonate you from one image. We can make videos out of single images. We can mix reality with generated content. So for most new AI models and use case, we need very little data, and that is a big shift for us.
So how do we protect ourselves?
So we need to learn as a company. We need to keep using AI systems. We need to question whether we're using the most suitable technology for certain things, invest our own time in upskilling. And of course, it's a nice segue to information security, using multi-factor authentication, having different passwords for different services, not trusting links or even some human-looking pictures on the internet, but staying up to date with the latest security information.
Yeah. If it does happen and someone is fooled, what do we do then?
Yes. So it's very important that we learn that we should not reuse passwords between our different applications, that we that we have a general awareness. But of course, we need to share our learnings as well. So like we're doing with this webinar, we want to increase the awareness in general so that people understand that, this is technology that is coming. The time to market for these services has drastically reduced. So if something happens, don't panic, but share your knowledge of failure.
Yeah. So how worried should we be?
I don't think we should be overly pessimistic about this new generation of features, because if we think about what we actually did in this presentation, I have made images of you. I have impersonated you through text, but those are capabilities that we've had for a long time. I used generative AI for this, but I could have used Photoshop or any other face swap service that we've been accustomed to for a long time. But it's interesting now because it's generative AI. Likewise, we've had audio recordings for a long time and we've been able to manipulate those. I can of course try to impersonate you in text and just try to fool someone that I am Monica. But the biggest contributing factors I see is that we have this new groundbreaking technology. And as you said, people are smart. We are much more inclined to try to make something of value than of maliciousness. So we should see this as groundbreaking technology that is increasing in capability and try to use this for good, but understand the weak spots.
Excellent last words. Thank you so much, William.
Thank you, Monica. And thank you everyone for listening to our presentation. And we wish you a fantastic continued Disco Day and hope that you enjoy all of your future sessions as well.
And meet us in the collaboration box later in the afternoon if you have questions. Thank you so much and have a lovely Disco Day.
Thank you.